What did you say when Biden called you and said he wasn't running? Well, I immediately thought of him first. No, you didn't. You know, I mean, fracking. Dana Bash had her dead to rights. I was like, you said this. I have the quote. I'm reading it to you. You said there should be a ban on fracking. Why can't they just go, yeah, you know what? I got it wrong. I was talking to the wrong people. You know, she's had this ridiculously high turnover.
Bill Maher just torched CNN for shamelessly boosting Kamala Harris, while relentlessly attacking Donald Trump, and you can bet the left isn't thrilled. The liberal firebrand ripped into the network's blatant bias and obsession with twisting headlines to favor Democrats, calling it the very reason Harris crashed and burned. Maher's takedown of CNN isn't just sharp, it's one of the most explosive critiques he's delivered in years. This one's going to sting, no doubt about it. Buckle up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and let's dive straight into the chaos.
CNN is the place where both sides can watch. And
I'm talking about the people on CNN, and what I know what the conservative side of America thinks, and I don't blame them. They were just gushing about how great a speech it was. And I think she did fine. I didn't think it was as good as they were making it out to be.
If you recall, CNN practically swooned every time Kamala managed to string together a halfway coherent sentence. A generic "we must do better" was suddenly framed as a groundbreaking policy vision, dissected from 10 different angles, as if she'd just solved world hunger. They paraded experts, academics, and talking heads to convince viewers Kamala was the second coming of political genius, the woman with all the answers. Spoiler alert, she wasn't, and that's where Bill Maher does the unthinkable. He calls CNN out for their shameless cheerleading. To him, it wasn't journalism. It was desperate, dishonest PR. With trademark sting, Maher rips straight through their glossy, fabricated facade.
It does look like tokenism. It's kind of like the same as The View.
I don't think that you can say that CNN is anything but fair. Everyone who was speaking last night, it's not like they were all Democrats. I mean, we had Dana Bash, Jake Tapper, Abby Phillip.
They come across
giving
that way.
Analysis.
They come across that way. In a moment like that, it was like 5-1.
Caitlin Collins, in her best nothing to see here tone, tried to defend CNN by insisting the network covers Republican conventions and occasionally trots out GOP guests on its political shows. Cute defense, but Maher wasn't buying it. Sure, he didn't deny conservatives show up, but he pointed out it's never a fair fight. The panels are always stacked 5-1, with the token Republican left sitting there like cannon fodder. Then Maher dropped the knockout blow. He compared CNN's setup to The View. Ouch. That's right, CNN. The self-proclaimed serious news outlet, running panels that look more like a daytime talk show circus, where one conservative gets mocked, outnumbered, and steamrolled.
Conservatives do not trust CNN because it is so staunchly anti-Trump. He's not wrong, because they'll put on people like Adam Kinzinger or Anna Navarro, George Conway, and call them Republicans, or pretend that's being balanced by putting them on by saying, oh, see, these conservatives don't even like Trump. Only Scott Jennings over there can be called a conservative. And Maher is right. It's almost always 5-1 on shows they portray as news programs.
Plenty of people don't trust CNN, and it's not hard to see why. Their idea of balance is pure tokenism. Trotting out so-called Republicans who either can't string together a solid argument or aren't really conservatives to begin with. These token voices aren't there to challenge anyone. They're there to play props, convenient punching bags for the liberal panel to feel clever against. That kind of hypocrisy drives Bill Maher crazy, and, honestly, it drives viewers away. 2. People aren't stupid. They can spot when a network is stacking the deck. And that's exactly why so many conservatives, and even independents, end up looking elsewhere. CNN isn't offering debates, it's offering theater.
Do you have the time? Your answer is not, I do. Do you have the time?
Right.
Yes, it's 4 o'clock.
Well,
you have to understand that words don't always mean what they mean.
And when Tim Walz said, like, the American people, I talk like they do. No, you don't. No, you don't. You're a huge liar, like all politicians are. I don't care, by the way. I've always said this about politics. They're all going to lie. They're politics. It's what they lie about. I don't give a shit what you did during the Iraq War. You were in the Guard. So I don't understand why they just can't. You're just insulting my intelligence.
This time, Bill Maher wasn't pulling punches. He went straight at both Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. for the shameless lies they peddled during their cushy softball interviews. Walz, flashing his well-rehearsed political grin, has been repeatedly caught exaggerating or outright fabricating his involvement in key political and even military events, desperately trying to frame himself as some kind of seasoned warrior statesman. Meanwhile, Harris comes with her own trail of tall tales. She once boldly claimed she had visited the border, despite never setting foot anywhere near it. To make matters worse, her team spun a bizarre narrative that she wasn't on Joe Rogan's podcast because Rogan supposedly refused to host her. Maher wasn't buying any of it, tore through the smoke and mirrors, calling out the dishonesty for what it was. In his view, this isn't just politics as usual. It's deception dressed up as credibility. And the media's fawning treatment only makes it worse.
She said, what did you say when Biden called you and said he wasn't running? Well, I immediately thought of him first. No, you didn't. You know, I mean, fracking. Dana Bash had her dead to rights. I was like, you said this. I have the quote. I'm reading it to you. You said there should be a ban on fracking. Why can't they just go, yeah, you know what? I got it wrong. I was talking to the wrong people. You know, she's had this ridiculously high turnover. Like 42 of 47 people as vice president are gone. Just blame it on them. You know why these assholes are gone? Gave me the wrong information on fracking.
That's classic Kamala Harris. Dodge the question, shift the blame, and pray no one notices. At this point, it's practically her political trademark. Take fracking, for instance. She flat out lied about her past positions, conveniently rewriting history the moment it became politically inconvenient. Then came the infamous word salad performance, a moment that could have won an award for the sheer density of empty phrases stuffed into a single answer. When asked what she could do better than Joe Biden, Harris didn't deliver a bold vision or even a concrete policy. Instead, she launched into one of the most incoherent rambles ever televised as stitched together. Jumble of half-thoughts that sounded profound but meant absolutely nothing. Maher couldn't resist highlighting it because it perfectly captured Harris's style. Talk a lot, say very little, and trust the media to spin it into brilliance. The problem? More and more people are beginning to notice the hollowness behind the act.
What the bug up there is about IVF. I mean, I certainly understand abortion. You know, there's a baby growing in the womb. I get it. It's going to be a human. Doesn't bother me. But yes, it is murder. Again, doesn't bother me that it is.
You're not supposed to mess with that. That's what many people think. You're supposed to let.
Oh, I see.
Great man upstairs.
Oh,
yeah, it goes back to that stem cell debate that George Bush had.
Yes.
Remember? It goes like the Terry Shive. It's just like life, laugh. Yeah. We support laugh.
Bill Maher is flat out wrong on this one, and it's not even close. He openly supports the ending of innocent unborn lives. Children punished not for their own actions, but for the recklessness of their parents. That moral contradiction is exactly why Maher will never truly cross over to the conservative side. The moment he does, his hypocrisy is laid bare for the world to see. On one hand, he never misses an opportunity to torch the Catholic Church for its failures in protecting children, and fair enough, those criticisms are deserved. But with the other hand, he casually dismisses the destruction of unborn lives, as if those children don't count. That's not just inconsistent, it's grotesque. Maher postures as a fearless truth-teller, yet he's blind to the most obvious. Truth of all, you cannot claim to stand for justice. While excusing the innocent, paying the ultimate price for the mistakes of adults.
What explains Donald Trump's appeal to young men? I saw today that the gender gap, I think, is the widest. I mean, it's very predictable. I mean, the women are much more for Kamala, and the men are much more for Trump, generally.
But it's not predictable if you look at past elections where voters under 30, generally men and women, went for Democrats. This is remarkable. I think to explain it...
Wait, you're talking about under 30?
Yeah, the under 30
What's going
gender
on
gap
there?
is very different than past elections.
Bigger?
Kamala Harris is rapidly losing ground with young men, the very demographic that gave Democrats a major boost in 2020. And honestly, the reason isn't hard to figure out. For years, the party has pushed narratives that gradually emasculated men, leaving many feeling sidelined, diminished, or flat out useless. Instead of correcting course, Harris doubled down on the same tired formula. When it came time to pick a running mate, she skipped the chance to energize younger voters by elevating a younger man. Instead, she chose an older, safe option. That did nothing to rebuild trust with disillusioned young men. Meanwhile, Donald Trump played the opposite game. He tapped a younger running mate, sending a clear message. He values the strength, energy, and future of young men.
Odd. Contrast.
Couldn't be starker, and it's a key reason Harris is bleeding support from a group Democrats can't afford to lose.
2020, young men and young women voted for Joe Biden at roughly the same rate. Over the last 4 years, and now with Kamala Harris, young women are voting for Kamala Harris at that same level, if not more. Kamala Harris has barely moved the needle with young men. They have gone more toward Trump. There's a lot of reasons for that. I think Trump has exploited culture war stuff. He appears on hyper-masculine podcasts, and he just seems like a fun bro who's not going to ban your zins, you know?
These people just don't get it. They mock and sneer at podcasts that promote healthy masculinity, treating strong men as though there's some kind of cultural threat. But here's the truth they refuse to grasp. Strong men build strong families, strong communities, and ultimately strong societies. Weak men, on the other hand, breed chaos and dependence, and that's exactly what the left seems determined to encourage. Yet America has already spoken on this issue. In 2016, and again in 2020, millions rallied behind Donald Trump, a candidate who unapologetically embodied strength, resilience, and defiance against the feminization of our institutions and policies. That movement wasn't just about politics. It was a cultural rebellion. People were sick of being told masculinity is toxic. They wanted leadership rooted in toughness, conviction, and unapologetic confidence. And whether the elites like it or not, that demand for strength isn't disappearing anytime soon.
This could actually be, this is a real issue for Kamala Harris, though. Like, this could be fatal for her campaign. So if Democrats need to win 60% of the youth vote to win the White House. Hillary came up short, Obama did it, Biden did it. Kamala Harris is right now at like 55% of the youth vote. If she doesn't get to 60, she could lose the election, and it's because young men, Gen Z men, are breaking to Trump.
Kamala Harris is staring down a political disaster. She doesn't confront the growing reasons why young men are abandoning her. And make no mistake, this isn't some minor hurdle. It's a ticking time bomb for her entire campaign. Young men, once a crucial voting bloc for Democrats, are now skeptical, frustrated, and steadily drifting away from her message. Why? Because the party has spent years pushing an agenda that demeans masculinity, mocks strength, and tries to feminize every corner of culture and politics. If Harris wants even a fighting chance, the first step is obvious. She must purge the woke virus infecting her platform. That means rejecting the poisonous narrative that strength, toughness, and traditional masculinity are problems to be fixed. Till she does that, young men will continue to see her as part of a movement that seeks to strip them of purpose and identity. And when Election Day arrives, they'll make their disapproval loud and clear at the ballot box. At the end of the day, Kamala Harris and the Democrats face a brutal reality. Their war on masculinity is backfiring. Young men feel alienated. Token debates and hollow gestures aren't fooling anyone. Hypocrisy runs too deep, and critics like Bill Maher are only drawing more attention to the cracks in her message. Unless Harris ditches the woke agenda and starts showing respect for strength, resilience, and traditional values, she's finished. Because come Election Day, young men won't be rallying behind her. They'll be voting her out. And that wraps up today's video. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like and subscribe for more content like this.